Guys, welcome back to my channel. You are watching Basic Coding with Adam, where I teach you basic concepts of coding. Today we're going to focus on React, and we're going to create a real simple application where we get some data from an endpoint using Axios and display it as you see here. We're going to use React Strap, which is a NPM package that allows you to insert Bootstrap components Bootstrap elements as React components. So we're going to use Axios and React Strap, and we're going to create what you see here, which is a series of posts, the title, the body, and then in order to read the full article, you click this and you get the full article here in this nice modal that comes directly from React Strap. So we're going to be handling state, we're going to be handling changing state, and we're going to be handling props. So if that sounds interesting, please continue to watch. Also, please consider subscribing, as I release videos similar to this pretty frequently. But also don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you get notified when I do upload a video, because my upload schedule is somewhat random. So anyway, leave a like if you find this video helpful. Thank you. Without further ado, we're going to dive into it. So I'm going to close this. The first thing you're going to need is Node.js. So you go to nodejs.org and download the latest stable version. It is a simple installer, whether you're on Mac or Windows, doesn't matter. It's both the same, and then you have npm. Here's the second package we're going to be using, React Strap, along with Axios. And what I have here is VS Code open. Excuse me. What I did was I just did create React app, which I have a video on, which I will link in the description or above. And I installed a new instance of React, and then I just cleaned up some of the files we don't really need. I also deleted all the CSS because we're strictly going to use React Strap. Okay, so first thing we need to do, I'm going to open a new terminal. I like to move my terminal to the right by right-clicking terminal, and we're going to do npm I Axios and React Strap because we need those. React Strap sometimes takes a little bit of time to install, so if you see the video skip, that's why, because it does take a good minute or so to download. I don't know if that's a common thing. Okay guys, we have our two packages installed, Axios and React Strap. So let's get started. What I'm going to do is create a new folder, components. Inside of that, we're going to create a file, posts.js. This is going to be our main file. One quick side note, I suggest you install in VS Code. If you're using VS Code, you don't have to, but if you do, I would suggest installing ES6 React, GraphQL React Native snippets. It just allows us to add component code without typing it out longhand. Also, the second one is Prettier, which formats our code on save, and those are really nice to have. So here's our React Native snippets, or React snippets, I should say. I think it's RAFCE for React Functional Component. I'm going to change that to a capital. Okay. We're going to first import Axios from Axios because we need that. We're also going to import, this is how you import from React Strap. We're going to import a container from, from React Strap. Okay. So this is how you do it. You know, if you wanted to add a button, you would do it like that. But in this case, we're just going to add a container for now. And in fact, you don't even need these opening and closing divs. We just need a container, bootstrap container. Okay, great. One other thing we need that's kind of important. We need use state hook and use effect hook. Okay, because that's how we're going to deal with our posts. First thing we're going to do, const brackets. We're going to say posts. That's our state. And then set post. This is our function to handle our state or to change it, to manipulate it in some way. Use state. And initially we're going to set it to an empty array just like that. So just a pair of brackets. Okay. That's our state. Same as this dot set state, and you open, whatever. Next thing we're going to do is actually get our information and then set our state to that. So we're going to use effect, which is a function. Open that, fat arrow, and open that. Because essentially in JavaScript, functions are objects. Now we could just do axios.get right here, but that's not always perfect. So what I like to do is const fetch data equals asynchronous. We're going to create an async await situation. So an asynchronous function. Okay, so that's async. All right. Now here's where we do our Axios. Const, not let, const results, equals await axios.get. And this is where we put in our folder. So it's an async and we're going to await this information. So everything else can happen while we're still fetching the data. And we need to come over to here to, JSON placeholder, typecode.com. And this is a great sort of template JSON placeholder just to get fake REST API information in JSON format. It's a nice little thing for development, for practicing your code. It's a lot of fun as well. And we're going to, I'm sorry if I skipped over that. So we're just going to get our URL here. And we're going to place it in here like this. Okay. Cool. Good. Let me just close up this other one. No, sorry, no. Let's close up the demo. All right, so we have this here. Let me close that there. Now, so we have our results. Okay, that's getting this. So we're going to come down next and do set posts to our results.data, right? We want to specifically pull out the data part of it. And actually, I'll show you console.log results. Okay, and here, now of course, as I'm sure you're aware or not, we need to call this function so that it works. Fetch data function, there you go. Let's see. Now let's come down here and we want to, of course, output something. We want to output our data onto our screen. Okay. And so we have this container. I'm going to give it a class name because I'm sorry. Class name equals, we're going to give it a margin of 2 just to kick it around. One thing I forgot to mention, get bootstrap. For React Strap to work, you can either install an npm package of bootstrap and import that. You can download the files and keep it in your folder, your project folder, or you can do what I'm doing here, which is get the CDN and stick it right into your index.html. I'm going to change this while we're here. Post app. All these comments are meaningless. And just stick it in there so that React Strap works. All right, I'll close that up. Now, like I said, so in here, we're going to open a JavaScript expression. We're going to take our post state and we're going to map through it. Map through it, which is a high order array method. We're going to set each individual result to post. Okay, and then I'm going to open some parentheses. Oh my God, this thing is annoying. And then in here, we're going to set each one of our individual posts. So that is, this is a post, this is a post, this is a post. We're going to set it so this one, this one, this one, and all these individual ones are their own component. So that if we need to update them in the future, React knows which is able to update each and one individually rather than having to cipher through all of them. Another way we're going to help React cipher through them and know which one to update is set it to a key. Now this is a React thing, so we're going to set each individual component of an array return needs to have a unique key. So we're going to set it to post.id, which is this number here, ID. And as you can see, they go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has to be unique. Usually you set it to the ID. That's pretty standard. Now, what we're going to do is pass in our prompts, to our individual components, and we're going to close this off. Okay, we're going to come up here. We're going to import our individual post from /post. Now we haven't created this yet, of course, but we will. And that's it. So here we have our state. We set it up initially to an empty array. Here's where we get the data. This is just a console, so I can show you guys. Here's where we set our data. Okay, on one thing. And then at the end we set it back to an empty array just so we don't get an infinite loop. And here we map through the array that our state is now based on this. We map through it and we output each individual post as its own component. Okay, save all. Now we're going to come up here and create a new file. Call this post.js. This is each individual post. Start typing RAC and you get this React functional component. I'm going to change that to a capital, right? Good. Here. So we're going to import stuff from React Strap. I'm going to import a card. This is just like Bootstrap. Card header, card body, card title, card text, and card footer. So whatever you want to use from React Strap, that's what you got to import. React Strap. Cool. All right. So inside of this div here, we actually in this component we don't actually need any state. However, what we need to do is import our props. Remember how we passed our props here from this into our React component through post, and then we passed in our post. Here you could do props, right? Or I like to destructure, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. I like to pull out the post, and then we can just put it in here. So let's open card. Let's open a card, right? I'm going to give this a class name of M margin 2. So you could still use bootstrap classes in here if you like. Card header. Let's put in our post.id. Okay. Now remember, up here we extracted the post. If we just did props, we'd have to do props.post.id, right? But since we just pulled out our post by destructuring, we just do post.id. Okay. Now let's do card body. Okay. Inside of that, we're going to do card title, where we put our post.title, right? Down below that, we're going to do card text. Inside of that, we're going to open our JSX expression post.body. That's going to go in there. And then for right now, we're going to add in our footer, but we're not going to put anything in there for now because I'm going to get to that in just a few minutes. So we're going to have that. Let's see what that gives us. Hopefully we get something. I haven't tested it yet, but I have a feeling. npm start. We might have a few glitches, but we'll take care of those quickly. Oh, I'm sorry. I need one thing. I don't know if you guys are getting this, but I have been getting this. I don't know if this is something new from React, but you get this big error thing, and it tells you to go through all these steps, especially when you're testing. So what I found is that if you, excuse me, I'm going to create a file, and I'm going to call .env, no prefix, just .env, and then I post this skip preflight check to true, save all, close that, and then npm start, and then it doesn't give me this. I guess it's some sort of pre-flight check. If nothing else helps, add that. See, it says that there. That's the only thing that I found to help. I don't know, maybe you guys have found the same. Let me close this bootstrap. Loading, it's loading. Post that, good. And one important thing that we forgot to do is we got to bring in our post into our main app.js file. So import posts from /components/posts. The posts one with the S, not the post, single post. That goes into posts. Right, forgot that. Compiling. Anytime you're ready, running slow, compile with warning, post is defined and never used. Oh, yeah, duh, Jesus. Sorry, guys. This is like the third time I'm recording this video. So here. So then we put it down here in our JSX expression. Okay, let's see. And here we go. So here's all our posts, right? Now, this is our body. Say this was 20 paragraphs long. You wouldn't want that stretching all the way down and then the next one and then the next one and the next one. Let me close up app.js. Let me close up posts. And in here, I'm going to do dot substring, which is a function. I'm going to set it to 0 to start at 0 because JavaScript is 0 based. And I'm going to say 15 characters. Let me show you what that gives us. Now see how it trimmed our body down to 15 characters? Now, that's just an excerpt. So they read the title. They say, okay, yeah, it seems interesting. I'm going to read it. I'll even add an ellipsis here. So now they want to read the full article. They see the title. They go, okay, yeah, that looks interesting. I want to read the full article. How did they do that? Well, let's first import full post from /full post. Now we haven't created that yet, but we will. And here in our footer, let's do full post slash, and then, I'm sorry, and then close it off. But we need to pass the props from here down into here. Now that's not ideal. Normally you would use something like Redux or the context API, but for this small project, just to show you how it's done, that's what we're going to do. Okay, I'm going to come over here and create a new file, call it full post. Is that what I called it? Full post, yes, .js. Okay, RAC, and we're going to create a React functional component. Okay, come over here. I'm going to change that to a capital. Now, we need to import. This is where we're going to create our modal. Okay, so we need a modal. Actually, we need a button. Oops, button, modal, modal header, modal body, modal footer. Okay, from React strap. Okay, so that's all we need. All right, now let's create our modal. So we need a button to open our modal. Okay, and I'm going to say read post. I'm going to give this some bootstrap classes. Class name, remember you got to use class name, not just class for React, otherwise it'll error. Let's say btn, whoops, btn dash extra small, btn dash info, I guess, for a blue color, btn dash block, so it'll stretch. All right, let's see what that gives us, right? All right, don't worry about these because we haven't used that yet. So here's our button. Does obviously nothing because we haven't done anything yet. But this is looking decent. So we got all our things here. Let's continue on. All right, let's create our actual modal. I'm going to give it a size, size of, extra large, I guess. What the heck? Extra large, because it's going to be a lot of text, so we're going to, they're going to read it. Let's do our modal header. And in here, one thing we forgot to do is we forgot to extract our props in post. In here, I think this may seem stupid. Normally this would be like a date, but I'm just going to give you the ID just to, just for what the heck, right? Modal body, okay. Inside of that, we're going to have modal title, and it's just different forms of formatting, different styles. In here, we're going to put our post dot title. Okay. Down below that, we're going to do modal text. Okay. And here's where we're going to put our post dot body. This is going to be the body of the post, obviously. And then we're going to come outside of the modal body. And we're going to do modal footer. This is where our footer belongs. And we're going to do a button. Okay. I'm going to say close to close the modal. And I guess maybe I'll give it the same class or similar class names as our open one. Otherwise it'll look plain. I'm going to make it danger because you're closing it. Here, let me just take out this block so it doesn't stretch the whole length of the modal. Now remember, guys, you can still use, bootstrap classes on your React strap. Let's see, modal title. Oh, whoops, sorry about that. Forgot to bring in modal title and modal text. Forgot about that. Let's see, failed to compile. Modal text, what is it? Attempted import error. Modal text is not exported from React strap. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know what I was thinking. There's no modal text. Oops. There's no modal text for modal. Yeah, sorry about that. I got confused. So it's card text, but not modal text. Sorry about that. Modal. There's no modal title either. Boy, I'm really here. Sorry about that. So I'm going to cut out the title, put that here. Sorry guys, like I said, I recorded this video like 3 times. I'm starting to get a little loopy. Jesus. Okay, here, modal title we don't need. So we just need modal header body. Okay, good. Let's see what that gives us. Now, of course, it does nothing, right? Here's our data, by the way. I did that console.log. So nothing happens. So we have to create our own functionality for our modal, right? So const, we're going to create a piece of state for modal, set modal, right? Equals use state, set it to false initially. Now this might be a good time to import use state, the use state hook. Now use state. We don't need use effect. We're not going to be doing that. And so for modal, we need to add something here, is open, right? So we're going to set that to modal. So the modal is controlled by the modal state, okay? And here to open it, we need an on-click event equals, we're going to call it toggle, to toggle it open and close. And naturally, if this opens it, we need this button to close it. Now you could also add an on click to that, so when you click the modal itself it closes, but I find that to be annoying, so I don't do that. Okay, and I believe that's all we need. That might be the end of our project here. Toggle is not defined. Oh, I'm sorry, Jesus. Sorry guys, const, so let's create our toggle function equals a function, arrow function, and we're going to set it to set modal, right, which is here, which is how we handle our state or how we change it or update it. And so we're going to set it to not modal, right? The exclamation point is to set it to not whatever this is, right? Whoops. So the reasoning behind that is when you click a button, you don't want it to set it to true or false. You want it to set it to whatever it currently is not, right? So if it's open, you want to set it to what it's not, which is closed, and vice versa. All right, let's see if we got something here. Good. Refresh just for consistency. Let's see. And there we go. There's our modal. Don't worry about this. This is actually a thing that just started happening, and that's in your your index.js folder. You change this to fragment, this strict mode to fragment, and then that error goes away. It's something with the modal. So anyway, so that's our project. So see, you have your title, your excerpt, and then you read the full article and you get this nice modal. Now, of course, it would have, more paragraphs. Close the modal, open the modal, close, open, close. And that's it, guys. That's how we, have components and then modals inside of components. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed making it, and I hope you guys will come back and watch again. Subscribe and turn on the bell notifications to get notified of a new video when it comes out. Thanks, guys. Take care.